Ladies, listen up. Some of y'all are out here being way too nice to men who ain't earned it. You cook, you clean, you give your time, your energy, sometimes even your money to a man who won't even text back on time. And you wonder why he ain't treating you right is because you let him get away with it. See, men do what you allow. If you're giving 100% to a man who's only giving 10%, that's not love, that's charity. And I don't know about you, but I don't remember signing up for a nonprofit relationship. Men value what they work for. This is one of the biggest truths about how a man's mind works. If something comes too easy, he doesn't appreciate it as much. Think about it. When a man buys his first car with his hard-earned money, he treats it like gold. He washes it, takes care of it, and makes sure nobody messes it up. But if somebody just hands him a car for free, he might be happy for a while, but he won't treat it the same way. He won't value it as much because he didn't have to work for it. The same thing happens in relationships. When a woman gives her time, energy, love, and kindness to a man who hasn't earned it, he won't appreciate it. He won't see the value in it because it didn't cost him anything. And when something doesn't cost a man anything, he doesn't think twice about walking away from it. A man needs to feel like he worked for something, that he put in effort, that he earned the love and attention he's getting. That's what makes him respect and cherish a woman. A lot of women think that by being overly nice, they can make a man see their worth. They believe that if they show him unconditional love, patience, and loyalty, he will recognize their value and love them back the same way. But that's not how it works. Being too nice without any boundaries doesn't make a man love you more. It makes him take you for granted. It makes him assume you'll always be there, no matter what he does. And when a man thinks you'll always be there, no matter how he treats you, he stops trying. Women often confuse being nice with being valuable. But value doesn't come from how much you give. It comes from how much you demand. If you give a man everything without requiring anything in return, he will see you as an option, not a priority. But if you set standards and make him work to be in your life, he will respect you. He will see you as a prize, as someone worth his time and effort. That's when he will appreciate you. Men are wired to pursue. It's in their nature. They enjoy the challenge of earning something valuable. That's why men go after their dreams with so much passion. They work hard for their careers, their goals, and their ambitions. And when they finally achieve success, they feel proud because they know they put in the effort. The same thing applies to relationships. A man values a woman who makes him step up, who challenges him to be better, who doesn't just hand over her heart on a silver platter. Being too nice to a man who hasn't earned it is like giving someone a diploma without them ever going to school. It doesn't mean anything to them because they didn't work for it. But when a man has to prove himself, when he has to show consistency, effort, and commitment, that's when he truly values what he has. He knows it wasn't easy to win your heart, and he won't take it lightly. Women need to stop being nice to men who haven't shown they deserve it. If a man is not investing in you, why are you investing in him? If he's not making an effort, why are you bending over backward to please him? Love should be mutual. Respect should be mutual. If you're the only one giving and he's just taking, you're not in a relationship. You're in a situation where you're being used. Being kind is a beautiful quality, but it needs to be given to the right person. You don't owe a man your kindness just because he exists. He needs to earn it through his actions. He needs to show that he is worthy of your time, your energy, and your heart. And if he's not doing that, then he doesn't deserve your niceness. Some women are afraid to stop being nice because they think they'll lose the man. But let me tell you something. If a man only stays because you're making things easy for him, he was never truly yours to begin with. A real man doesn't leave when you raise your standards. He steps up to meet them. The wrong man will walk away when you stop being too nice. But that's a good thing. Let him go. Because the right man will see your value and rise to the occasion. If a man values you, he will put in effort. He will call, he will text, he will make plans, he will show you that he cares. You won't have to beg for his attention. You won't have to lower your standards just to keep him around. And if you do have to beg, then he's not the one for you. A man who truly wants you will make it known. A lot of women waste their time trying to prove their worth to a man who isn't even trying. They give their all, hoping that one day he will see how amazing they are. But that's not how relationships work. You don't prove your worth to a man. He either sees it or he doesn't. And if he doesn't, you walk away. Because a real man will recognize your value from the start. He won't need you to convince him. Stop giving your kindness, your patience, your love, and your loyalty to men who aren't meeting you halfway. Stop overextending yourself for someone who isn't doing the same for you. When you stop being too nice, you give yourself the chance to see who really deserves you. And the man who truly deserves you won't need you to bend over backward to keep him. He will step up, he will put in effort, and he will make sure you know your worth. Being too nice can make you a doormat. A lot of women don't even realize it's happening until it's too late. They think they're just being kind, supportive, and understanding, but what they're actually doing is letting a man walk all over them. It starts small. You let him get away with little things. Maybe he cancels plans at the last minute. Maybe he forgets to call when he says he will. At first, you brush it off because you don't want to seem needy or demanding. You tell yourself, it's okay, he's just busy. Or maybe I'm overreacting. But over time, those little things add up. He starts taking you for granted because he knows there are no consequences. He knows you'll always be there no matter what. The more you tolerate, the more he pushes the limits. You start adjusting your life around him, making excuses for his bad behavior, and prioritizing his needs over your own. You stop expressing your feelings because you don't want to push him away. You let things slide, thinking that if you just stay patient, he'll eventually realize your worth. But the truth is, the more you tolerate, the less he respects you. Men respect boundaries, not blind kindness. When you don't set limits, he assumes you're okay with being treated however he wants. He knows he doesn't have to put in effort because you're giving him everything without him having to earn it. And once he realizes that, he stops trying. He stops valuing your time, your energy, and your love because you made it too easy for him. Being too nice also sends the wrong message. It tells a man that you don't value yourself enough to demand better. When you keep giving without expecting anything in return, you're showing him that your time and love are not precious. A man will treat you the way you allow him to treat you. If you let him get away with disrespect, he will continue to disrespect you. If you allow him to be inconsistent, he will never be consistent. Some women think that if they just love a man enough, he will eventually change. They believe that their kindness and patience will inspire him to treat them better. But that's not how it works. A man doesn't change because you're nice to him. He changes when he sees that he might lose you. He changes when he realizes that you have standards and that if he doesn't meet them, you won't stick around. A woman who is too nice often ignores the red flags. She convinces herself that he's just going through something or that he'll be better once things settle down. She makes excuses for his lack of effort and tells herself that it's just a phase. But deep down, she knows something isn't right. She knows she's giving too much and getting too little in return. She feels the imbalance, but she keeps hoping things will get better. The problem is, things don't get better when you allow bad behavior to continue. They get worse. The more you let things slide, the more he thinks it's okay. And by the time you realize how much you sacrificed, you're already deep into a relationship where your needs and feelings don't matter. Being too nice also makes you lose yourself. You start prioritizing his happiness over your own. You forget about your own dreams, your own goals, and your own well-being because you're so focused on making him happy. You put his needs before yours, thinking that if you just give enough, he will finally see how much you care. But in the process, you lose sight of who you are. A relationship should be about balance. It should be about mutual effort, mutual respect, and mutual love. If you're the only one giving, then it's not a relationship. It's an emotional sacrifice. And love should never feel like a sacrifice. Love should feel like a partnership where both people are equally invested. Some women are afraid to stop being too nice because they think it will push the man away. They worry that if they stop being overly accommodating, he will leave. But here's the truth. If a man only stays because you make things easy for him, then he was never truly yours to begin with. A real man doesn't leave when you set boundaries. He steps up to meet them. Men don't respect women who allow themselves to be walked over. They respect women who know their worth. A man will test your limits to see what he can get away with. If you let him get away with too much, he won't respect you. But if you show him that you have self-respect, that you won't tolerate disrespect, and that you expect effort in return, he will either step up or step out. Either way, you win. A woman who stands up for herself is far more attractive than a woman who lets a man walk all over her. Confidence is attractive. Knowing your worth is attractive. Having standards is attractive. A man might not say it out loud, but deep down he respects the woman who doesn't let him get away with nonsense. If you want a man to value you, you have to value yourself first. You have to believe that you deserve effort, respect, and commitment. You have to stop settling for less than you deserve. And most importantly, you have to be willing to walk away from any situation where you're not being treated right. It's not about being rude or mean. It's about knowing your worth. It's about understanding that your kindness should be given to someone who truly deserves it. Being nice is a great quality, but it should never come at the expense of your self-respect. The moment you stop being too nice, you start seeing who truly values you. The right man won't leave when you demand respect. He will rise to meet your standards. And the wrong man, he will walk away. But that's a blessing, not a loss, because a man who only stays when you make things easy was never the right man in the first place. Setting standards and sticking to them is not just a piece of advice. It's a way of reclaiming your power and asserting your worth in every relationship you enter. When you decide to hold firm to what you deserve, you send a clear message that your time, energy, and heart are not commodities to be taken for granted. Every time you choose not to settle for less, you remind yourself and everyone around you that you are worthy of respect and genuine effort. There comes a moment when you realize that compromising your standards is like selling a part of yourself for temporary comfort. Imagine you walk into a fine restaurant expecting to savor a gourmet meal, but instead you're served a lukewarm, overcooked dish that barely satisfies your hunger. You wouldn't settle for that, would you? Yet in relationships, many allow themselves to settle for mediocrity, hoping that a little kindness will eventually be reciprocated. The truth is, kindness without boundaries quickly becomes an open invitation for others to undervalue you. When you set clear standards, you are not being difficult. You are simply recognizing that your love and care deserve to be met with equal passion and commitment. There's a natural human tendency to want to keep the peace, to be agreeable, and to avoid conflict. This can lead to a dangerous pattern where you continuously give more than you receive. You might find yourself making excuses for behavior that leaves you feeling unappreciated, accepting poor treatment because you fear that raising your voice or drawing a line will push the other person away. But when you lower your standards, you lose sight of what you truly deserve. The reality is that any man who genuinely values you will not see your boundaries as obstacles, but rather as a clear sign of your self-respect. It is his job to rise to the occasion, to meet you where you are, and to honor the limits you have set. When he fails to do so, it isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of his inability to see the treasure standing before him. Holding firm to your standards requires a level of self-awareness and courage that many shy away from because it might seem like you're being uncompromising or even harsh. Yet, the most important thing to understand is that high standards aren't about being unloving. They're about nurturing self-respect and creating an environment where love can flourish naturally. Think about it like this. Your standards act as a filter, ensuring that only those who are capable of matching your energy, passion, and commitment are allowed into your inner circle. Over time, this filter protects you from investing in relationships that only drain you, leaving you with the invaluable gift of self-worth intact. Every time you assert your boundaries, you're not just protecting yourself from potential heartbreak, you're also teaching others how to treat you. It might feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you spent years believing that you must earn love by constantly giving. But the moment you stop bending over backward for someone who isn't willing to meet you halfway, you reclaim a piece of yourself that might have been lost in the process. This isn't about being stubborn or unyielding. It's about knowing that if you don't demand respect, you might never receive it. Your standards are not arbitrary rules. They are reflections of your values and the life you want to build. Lowering them might seem like a shortcut to keeping someone around, but in reality, it's a long-term compromise of your happiness and dignity. There are times when setting standards might mean having difficult conversations. You might have to tell someone, I deserve more than this, or I won't accept this kind of treatment. These conversations can be hard, and they might even lead to temporary discomfort or even loneliness. However, remember that each time you stand your ground, you are taking a step toward a healthier, more balanced relationship. The right person will not only accept your boundaries, but will be inspired to honor them. They will see that you are someone who values quality over quantity, and that in itself is a beacon of strength and self-respect. On the flip side, those who cannot or will not meet your standards reveal themselves early on, saving you the heartbreak of investing more into a relationship that is doomed from the start. It's important to understand that setting standards is not a one-time event. It's a continuous process. As you grow and evolve, so might your standards. But the underlying principle remains the same. You deserve respect, effort, and genuine commitment. Life is full of moments that test your resolve, and sometimes the easiest path is the one where you give in. But every time you choose to uphold your standards, you are building an inner resilience that is unshakable. You learn to recognize red flags, to trust your intuition, and to understand that love should be a two-way street. By insisting on mutual effort and respect, you are not only safeguarding your heart, but also setting a precedent for how you want to be treated in every facet of your life. Consider how much more fulfilling your life becomes when you no longer allow yourself to be treated as an afterthought. Instead of constantly worrying about whether you are enough, you begin to see that your worth is inherent and not contingent upon someone else's validation. When you set high standards, you also encourage those around you to elevate themselves. You become a model of self-respect and empowerment, and that energy is contagious. Others, whether in your personal relationships or professional circles, begin to mirror that respect. They start recognizing that you are a person of value, and they adjust their behavior accordingly. It's a ripple effect that begins with a single act of self-assertion and grows into a broader culture of mutual respect and admiration. Living by your standards is a declaration of self-love. It is a commitment to never compromise on what makes you feel whole and appreciated. Every time you say no to behavior that undermines your self-worth, you are saying yes to a future where you are cherished for who you truly are. It's a decision to no longer allow someone else's inability to recognize your value to define your happiness. Instead, you take control of your narrative and set the stage for relationships that are healthy, balanced, and mutually uplifting. While it might be challenging at times, the payoff is immeasurable. A life filled with connections that honor your worth rather than diminish it. Imagine a life where every relationship, every interaction is built on the foundation of respect and equality. That's the power of setting and sticking to your standards. You create an environment where love is not something you have to fight for every day. It becomes a natural, reciprocal exchange. The journey might be arduous, but the destination is worth every ounce of effort. Every moment you choose to stand firm in your beliefs is a moment you are investing in a future where you are never treated as less than you are. In doing so, you transform not just your relationships, but your entire outlook on life. You come to understand that the most important relationship you have is the one with yourself. And by nurturing that, everything else falls into place. By upholding your standards, you are crafting a life that is authentically yours. A life where you refuse to settle for anything that doesn't align with your true self. It's not just about demanding respect from others. It's about instilling it within yourself. Every boundary you set, every line you draw becomes a testament to your strength, a reminder that you are deserving of nothing but the best. And while the path may sometimes feel lonely, remember that you are never truly alone. There is a universe of possibilities waiting for someone who recognizes your worth. And that someone will only come when you have made it abundantly clear that you will accept nothing less than you deserve.